Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Theory of Why. On today's show, we're going to talk about positioning. Now, I'll argue that positioning, especially when it comes to nonprofits, was one of the most overlooked aspects of your marketing and of your organization as a whole. I promise that today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter than the rest, but I also guarantee you that positioning is going to be a topic that FireSpring continues to do more education on. But I want to start today with 3 simple questions that you can implement into your next board meeting, your next marketing and fundraising meeting, and it will cause you to think. It will cause you to brainstorm on what your position is in the eyes of your audience, what your position is in the market, and really what people would do if you didn't exist. So let's start. Question number 1, really simple. What is your place in the market? Now, this is probably the easiest of the 3, but it is still important to figure out, are you in the homelessness market? Are you in education? Are you in cancer research? This is a low-hanging fruit question, if you will, but it's one that you have to identify, because when someone comes to your website or they interact with your brand, they need to know exactly what problem you solve and what market you solve it in. Now, question number 2, it starts to get a little bit more difficult. What is your place in the eyes of your target audience? So what do they get out of being a donor? What do they get out of being a volunteer? Are they getting a sense of community, or are they trying to make their community better? These are the questions that you need to be able to answer. And so I encourage you to ask your board, ask your team, but also ask your donors and your volunteers. What do they view you as? Is it an escape? Is it an ego play that they're an individual donor, or are they just looking for something more or something better in their community? Now, the third question, probably the most difficult, is what's the alternative to you? If you didn't exist, where would your top donors go? If you didn't exist, where would your top volunteers go? Now, there's a chance that you've never asked yourself this question before, but it's really important to understand if they would go and support that cause elsewhere. Would they have to look outside of the state or outside of the country? Or would they go and find a different cause to support within your community? If you can answer that, then you're going to be in a really good position of understanding why your target audience cares about you and donates to you. Now, these 3 questions, really great way to start. There's much more. I promised I'd keep this one short. So your challenge for today is to bring these 3 questions to your next board meeting or your next marketing and fundraising meeting and see what answers you get. From there, you can understand, hey, we're going to have to brainstorm on this a little bit more. So, really simple. Bring these to your meeting and see what results you get. That'll do it for today.